Okay, good morning everyone. Let me discuss to you the midterm lesson 1 and lesson 2. Okay, so we are already done with role theory and research, based on our previous meetings. I discussed something about the role of theories. I also discussed the nature approaches and characteristics of qualitative research, and I also discussed to you several examples of theories connected to education. Now, in midterm, for our midterm, we will be talking about the action research, the characteristics and methods, and the lesson 2 will be focusing on the mixed method research. Okay, so I know that you already have an idea of what research is because you yourselves already explored practical research. No, you are able to create one research, a paper on research. Now, let me discuss to you what action research is. Now, if we talk about action research, um, this refers to a wide variety of evaluative, investigative, and analytical research methods designed to diagnose problems or weaknesses, whether organizational, academic, or instructional, and help educators develop practical solutions to address them quickly and efficiently. So, this action research focuses on practical solutions to a problem. No, we all know that research explores a phenomenon. Um, Research will explore merely on problems. No, and here in action research, this focuses on exploring a problem and finding a practical solution to it. Okay, it may also be called a cycle of action or cycle of inquiry since it typically follows a predefined process that is repeated over time. Okay, so action research is also similar to other types of researches nga nagfollow siya og process. Now, in your research and practical research, as you can I still remember na may gi-follow nga process. No, you first find the problem and then you created the experiment that is connected to that problem and you are able to come up with a solution, which is the alternative chemicals, for your specified problem. So action research is also similar to those other researches nga naa siya'y process nga gisunod. Okay, so let's proceed to the methods. Okay, so we have here you identify a problem to be studied. That is the first step of all researches. Um, because you collect the data on the problem, you organize, analyze, and interpret the data. You develop a plan to address the problem. So the first three steps is similar to other types of researches. Now, you first identify the problem, you collect the data, you interpret, you organize, and you analyze the data that you've collected. Okay, but here in action research must um, taas-taas pa siyang process because after you organize and you analyze and interpret the data nga imong nakuha, you will develop a plan to address the problem. Okay? And then you will be you will implement the plan nga imong nabuhat. You evaluate the results of the actions taken, no meaning after you implemented the plan, what happened? All right, and then you identify a new problem and you repeat the process. So mura na siya may process sa action research. Okay, so mas taas siya. Okay, so what are the characteristics of an action research? No? First, it is participant driven, meaning those involved in the research actively participate in the process, contributing to identifying the problem, the development of interventions, and evaluating outcomes. No? This means that the participants of your study, if you conducted an action research, is really um, act should really actively participating in your research, no, because this is a long process nga research. You first identify the problem based on the participants you have, no, kung sa mga problems nga naa dito sa environment, kung sa mga problems ang naa sa mga participants when you go to that environment, and then you are able to come up with the datas nga imuhang based from the problem nga imuhang nga discover, no, and then from the data you can encounter the bigger picture of the problem, no, and based on that bigger picture of the problem, you are able to create a plan, no, kung unsa ang imuhang solution ana nga problem. Another characteristic is reflective, which acts as a guiding principle for the researchers to be aware of their perceptual biases and practices. This involvement of teachers also assist them in restructuring the existing system. Um, this means that na reflection yung mahitabo. Okay? So, the involvement of teachers is really important on this one. That is why you have your advisor way back in your practical research, because your advisor's involvement is really important for you to be guided on what to do, on how to do it properly, on what approach to use, no, because the teacher will give you a lot of suggestions that will make your paper improve. That is also um, similar to action research, no. Next is collaborative. It often involves collaboration between researchers and practitioners. The people directly affected by the studied problem actively participate in the research process, contributing their insights and knowledge. So collaboration is really important in action research because, for instance, you will be given a chance to create an action research. Of course, dili man siya individual. This is by group. So the collaboration within your group, within the group of the researchers, is really, really important. Why? Because there are a lot of um, ideas needed for you to come up with a good plan, because not all plans are that effective. Now, for instance, you will be creating a research about that certain problem. Now, collaboration is really needed because our ideas and knowledge from ourselves is limited. Now, so we really um, need to collaborate with each other, inside the group. Okay, this is context specific. The research is conducted within a specific context, and the findings are often context specific as well. This makes the results more directly applicable to the particular setting in which the research is conducted. Okay, so very specific ang context dire. For instance, you will be conducting a research, action research on the out of school youth. So that is really specific. Why? Kay gi-specified na ninyo ang type sa mga tao nga inyong studyhan. Out of school youth, meaning mga tambay, no? Mga wala na nag-eskwela. Okay, so context specific siya. Another is the environment itself, the place, the area. No, unsa man siya nga area, rural ba, urban ba, purok, barangay, city, or whatsoever. So that should be specified. Next is improvement of practice. Action research emphasizes continuous learning and improvement. It is about finding a solution to a specific problem and learning from the process to inform future actions. No? So, when you conduct an action research, of course, there is really the learning and improvement, no, because along the way there are magical moments nga mahitabo, no, you are able to learn from those experiences and the exploration nga inyuhang gibuhat. Alright? Okay, let's try to explore the example of action research in an educational setting. No? So let's say that the topic is enhancing student engagement in a high school science class. So first, nata sa planning phase. No? So sa planning phase, the first step here is the problem identification. Alright? So dapat ma-identify ug una ang problem. So we have here the teacher observes that the high school science class students seem disengaged during lectures, leading to lower comprehension and interest in the subject. So muna siya ang problem identification. O giunsa pag-identify sa researcher ang problem. So very specific kaayo siya. No, the teacher daw kay naka-observe nga iyahang mga estudyante sa iyahang science class kay very disengaged. No? Pag maingon tag disengage, no, that will lead to wala na interest ang bata maminaw. No? And then, pag wala na interest ang bata maminaw, low pud siya og comprehension ang pagsabot sa subject. Okay, that is sa problem identification. Okay? Let's proceed to the research question. After you identify the problem, no, you can now create a research question. We have here an example. How can teaching methods be adjusted to enhance student engagement in science? No? So from the problem nga iyahang na discover, nakabuhat na rin siya og research question, no, paunsa man daw, no, paunsa maning mga teaching methods um ma-adjust para mas mo-improve pa or para mas mo-enhance pa ang engagement sa students sa science. Okay, so that is the research question. Let's proceed to the action phase. No? So from the problems and the research questions you've created, okay, nana dayon ang action phase. No? Diri na makita ang inyong solution. Okay? First is sa intervention. Okay? We have here the teacher incorporates more hands-on activities and collaborative projects into the curriculum. Meaning, ang solution sa researcher or ang solution ni teacher is mas naghatag pa siya og mga hands-on activities nga kanang ma-challenge gyud ang mga bata individually, no, nga kanang mulihok gyud ang ilahang mga utok individually, and also naghatag pud siya og mga collaborative projects, no, meaning mag-collaborate na ay collaboration mahitabo ang mga bata sa ilang project nga pagabuhaton. So mao na ang mga solution nga gitry sa researcher or ni teacher, no? Hands-on activities and collaborative projects. And next would be the implementation. Over the next several weeks, the teacher introduces interactive experiments, group discussion, and real-world applications of scientific concepts. So under hands-on activities and collaborative projects, um, naa-under ana ang different kinds of activities, no? Naa si teacher gabuhat og experiments. No, of course, ang mga kids um very kasi tawag ana active jud kayo sila when it comes to experiments. Why? Because ma-entertainment sila. No, that is what we call learning with or by um, entertaining, no, or having fun. No, they are learning and also they are also having fun through experiments because they will do the experiments themselves. No, mag hands-on gid sila aning ilang experiments. Next is group discussions. Of course, no, malihok gud og tama ng utok sa estudyante when it comes to group discussion. And then real-world applications of scientific concepts. No, bale, gi-explore ni teacher ang mga bata in different environments where they can apply what they have learned about science. Okay. Next is the observation phase. Okay, so this is where the data collection and analysis happen. Okay, that sa data collection na diri the teacher collects data through student feedback surveys, classroom observation, and academic performance assessment. Okay? So si teacher nag-collect siya sa data through sa surveys, nagamit siya og quantitative approach, no, through surveys, and then observation, that is qualitative pod nga approach, and then academic performance assessments, no, meaning ang katong mga assessments nga gipabuhat right after each activity. no? Kung nag-improve ang score sa mga bata, meaning the solution or the plan, or well, the plan itself is effective. Okay? Next would be the analysis. The teacher observes increased participation, positive survey comments, and improved performance on related assessments. So based from the surveys, based from the observation being gathered, based from the assessments nga nakita ni teacher, so ang bata kay nag-increase daw ang participation, no? Positive ang si tawag ani results sa surveys, and nag-improve ilang performance sa science nga subject, meaning nindagko ilang mga grades, no? Mas nindaghan pang ilang learning through the solution or the plan that the teacher created for the students. Okay, dili na ta sa reflection phase. Now, this is where interpretation and revised hypothesis will happen. So, sa interpretation, naka-interpret din si teacher. No? The teacher reflects on the data and considers the impact of the changes on students' engagement. No? Meaning, naka-reflect si teacher based from the data nga ang kanang problem kay masolusyonan na siya based on sa pag-change sa mga routines inside the classrooms. Okay? Next is revised hypothesis. The initial hypothesis that more interactive activities would increase engagement seems supported. So if we talk about hypothesis, this is your assumption, no, that will be the result of your research. So dire naa siya revised hypothesis, no, the initial hypothesis that more interactive activities would increase engagement seems supported. No, pag moingon ta og interactive activities, no, very daghan kay learning ang bata while having fun as well. Okay, planning phase. Next steps, the teacher plans to refine the intervention based on feedback and observation. Okay, and then data collection plan, develop a plan to gather for the data during the next implementation phase. So, gimintay ni teacher ang iyahang solution para mas mo increase pa yun ang achievement sa bata when it comes to that specific subject. No, si teacher, pwede niya i-incorporate itong inato nga mga activities and solution and initiatives sa other subjects na dili lang kay sa science. So, pwede ito niya ma-apply sa other nga subjects. Action phase, that is refinement and implementation. Now, adjust teaching's methods based on the reflection phase and continues to implement the refined strategies in the classroom. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Let's proceed now to the lesson 2, which is the mixed method research. Okay, mixed method research is also another type of research. Okay, let's try to explore this one. So what is mixed method research? Now, mixed method research is a procedure for collecting, analyzing, and mixing both quantitative and qualitative methods in a single study or series of studies to understand a research problem. The purpose of this form of research is that both qualitative and quantitative research in combination provide a better understanding of a research problem or issue than either research approach alone. Okay, so this means that mixed method research explores on both qualitative and quantitative research approach. No, meaning the processes of both qualitative and quantitative research will be applied. No, because in understanding a certain research problem or in understanding a research phenomena, dili lang siya enough na quantitative alone ang gamiton. Yes, you will be given a lot of ideas on that specific research problem, pero mas nindot gyud na i-combine ang quali and quanti para mas mahibaw-an nimo ang bigger and wider picture of that certain problem or a phenomena. Okay, so we have here, no, the qualitative and quantitative approach are combined. The qualitative and quantitative data collection strategies are also combined. The qualitative and quantitative data analysis are also combined, and the sampling techniques of both are also combined. Okay. So collecting both quantitative and qualitative data, no? So in collecting both, no, naa diri makombine na ang questionnaire and interviews, survey, observations, census, attendance record, checklist, sa qualipod kaya interviews, so I've said, observations, JD, document studies, case study, audio visual materials. So, pero commonly, ang sa action, I mean, sa mixed method research nga kanang pagbuhaton commonly sa mga tawo, ang makombine ra ani is ang questionnaire, survey, interviews, and observations. No? Pero naa gyapon nagamit aning uban pero commonly used ang questionnaire, interviews, survey, and observation. Mao na sila mo ay commonly used sa mix pag ang researcher nag-opt to choose or to conduct mixed method approach. Okay. The framework for viewing perspectives on mixed methods. So, ang findings from quantitative and qualitative data are combined, no? Gi-interpret pag-ayo, gi-analyze pag-ayo, nagipangitaan og comparison. Because kung unsa maoy result sa questionnaire or sa survey, kung successful or kung tag-as ang rating, let's say nga ang gipangita kay level of absenteeism, no? Pag taas ang what you call this one, pagtaas ang result sa survey or sa quantitative data sa level of absenteeism sa mga bata, and if si tawag ani, and if connected siya or align pod ang iyahang na-gather through interviews and observations, then we can really have an amazing findings. No, pag connected or pag same sila, no, taas ang absenteeism, taas ang sa survey, taas pod ang sa interview and observation. No? To combine the two, nindot kaayo og findings na makuha nimo. Okay. A mixed method researcher, of course, collects both quantitative and qualitative data. You mix them at the same time or one after the other. You describe the kind of mixed methods being used. No? So we have here um, kinds of mixed methods. No? So first is Morse's notation system, designated by uppercase and lowercase letters. No? So qual or quan designate a mixed method study in which the dominant approach is qualitative, while quan over qual designates the reverse. Okay? If neither approach is dominant, example, both are equal, the notation stipulates qual is to, or qual over quan. No? As you can see, okay, it varies on the upper and lower cases of letters. No? Pag naka-caps lock, pag naka-uppercase si qual, meaning mas um, gigamit nimo ang qualitative approach. No, pero naagya pa ng quantitative, pero para gamay ra kay siya portion sa study. Pero pag kaning isa pod nga naka-uppercase ang quan, so mas taas pod ang imuhang gigamit kang quantitative research approach. No, mas gigamit nimo ang surveys, ang papers, ang numbers. Okay? Pero pag parehong naka-uppercase, ang duha very balanced. No, nagamit ka og surveys at the same time na ka-interview gi-conduct. Okay? Sequencing in the system is indicated by the symbols plus or minus or arrow. The arrow designates a sequential approach. Okay, basic characteristics, you collect and analyze both quantitative and qualitative data. No, you mix two forms of the data in different ways. No? Imong gimix ang results sa survey and at the same time imong gimix ang ilahang mga responses sa interview na imuhang gi-conduct. You give priority to one or both forms of data. No? Can be in a single study or in a multiple phases of a study. Design can be based on either or both perspectives. When do you conduct a mixed method study? Of course, when you have both quantitative and qualitative data. Okay? When one type of research is not enough to explain or to answer the question, no, pag dili gani enough ng quantity alone, pag dili enough ng qualitative alone, so you may conduct a mixed method study, no, pwede mo i-combine ng quali and quanti. When you want qualitative research to help explain quantitative findings, no, pwede po din siya. When you want to generalize findings to a large population, and when you want to provide alternative perspectives in a study. Yes, because if we talk about the level of such problem, of course, ang main nato nga makuhaan, ang magamit ana is quantitative research design. No, more on numbers, surveys, kita, and questionnaires. No, pag pag mangita pa kag mas ay pag gusto pa ka nga maback-upan pa og stronger what you call this one, stronger outcome ang imong study, you may opt to create a mixed method study, no? Kay I have this quantitative what you call this one? I have this quantitative outcome or the result, no? And mas stronger pa ni siya kay naa pa pud ko'y qualitative na outcome. Ikaduha akong gigamit. Okay, we have here what are the types of mixed methods design. We have the convergent parallel design, the explanatory sequential design, the exploratory sequential design, the embedded sequential design. Now, these are the four basic design of mixed method research. We also have complex designs of mixed method research. We have the transformative design and the multi-phase design. Okay. So we have here the convergent parallel design. The purpose of a convergent parallel mixed method design is to simultaneously collect both qualitative and quantitative data, merge the data, and use the results to understand the research problem. No, very basic ang process. No? Pag humani mo og collect sa qualitative, pwede na po kang mag-collect sa quantitative. No, both are being used, no, to collect datas and collecting data rather. So we have here in the diagram the quantitative data collection analysis, so, and qualitative data collection analysis. So they are compared and they relate to each other, no. And after you compare the results from the two, okay, after you relate the results from either of them, no, you can now have your interpretation, no, and then makakuha na ka eventually og result. Okay, so we have here the explanatory sequential design. This is characterized by an explanatory sequential mixed methods design consists of first collecting quantitative data and then collecting qualitative data to help explain or elaborate on the quantitative result. So here, sa explanatory sequential design, ang una nga i-collect na data is quantitative. No, meaning magpa-survey ka, magpa-answer ka questionnaire, so on and so forth. And then, mag-follow up na lang ka og qualitative data. Meaning, katong mga interviews, mga observations para mo supplement sa result sa imuhang written, I mean sa results sa imuhang survey and questionnaire. The purpose of this one is to use qualitative results to assist the findings of a quantitative study. No, meaning, mutabang si qualitative result sa kang quantitative nga result. Kay dili enough ang mga answers sa surveys. Kay what if gi-magic na to sa students pag-answer ang survey. So of course, mas nindot ka na apoy qualitative the results based from the interviews and observations para mo supplement kang quantitative results. Okay, the exploratory sequential design. This is characterized by an exploratory sequential mixed method design involves the procedure of first gathering qualitative data to explore a phenomenon and then collecting quantitative data to explain the relationship found in the qualitative data. So this is different from um, sa tong isa, this is different from explanatory sequential design, no? Si explanatory sequential design ganina kay mas una ang quantitative nga data nga gi-collect, followed na dayon si qualitative data. So here in the exploratory sequential design, una i-gather si qualitative data. Una ka mag-interview, una ka mag-observe. And then right after, musunod na dayon si quantitative data. Magpa-answer na din kasi mo. Okay, so since naputol ang pag-record, so let us continue. Okay, so we are here in um, we are done with exploratory design. So let me proceed to its characteristics. Okay, so ang priority nga data nga i-collect ni exploratory sequential design is the qualitative data. Okay, so ang pinakauna is ang qualitative data followed by the quantitative data. Okay, so next is the embedded sequential design. Okay, so embedded design is the simultaneous collection of quantitative and qualitative data with one form of data by supporting the other. The supportive data augments the conclusion of the main data collection. So in embedded sequential data, this means that simultaneous ang pag-collect nimo sa datas, no? Pwede ka mag-una sa qualitative, pwede nimo i-observe, no? This embedded sequential design is more commonly applicable to action research, no? Kay simultaneous ang pag um, conduct nimo sa quanti and quali, no? So just like the example we had earlier, nga first nag-observe si teacher, that is under qualitative, and pag human nag-observe the teacher, nagpa-answer din siya, maabot na din siya sa quantitative. Okay, transformative. This is a complex type of mixed method research. No, this is similar to the first one. And then next is the multi-phase design. The multi-phase design is a complex again. This is a complex as well. um, Design that builds on the basic convergent exploratory and embedded design, which is occur when researchers or a team of researchers examine a problem or topic through a series of phases or separate studies. No, si multi-phase design kay magamit gyud ang katong mga uban pa nga um, types of designs sa mixed method research na magamit makombine to sila. So medyo complicated siya, no? So we have steps in the process of conducting a mixed method studies. First, you determine a mixed method study and that is feasible. So you first find a problem that is accessible or that is suitable for both qualitative and quantitative data. Second one is you identify a rationale for a mixed method study. So you should consider no nga nung nag-collect ka og quantitative and qualitative data. Then you identify a data collection strategy. No, kung unsa imong unahon, quantitative ba or ang unahon mo sa qualitative. Step 4, you develop quantitative, qualitative, and mixed method questions. So in your statement of the problem, dapat na aning tulo. Dapat na kay research question para kay quantitative, dapat na kay research question para kang qualitative, dapat na kay question para sa duha nga na mix. Collect the quantitative and qualitative data. Now, this is where the data collection will dive in. You analyze the data separately or concurrently. Now, after you collect the data, you separate the two. You separate ang quantitative data nga imong na-collect and you separate the qualitative data nga imong na-collect. And then you analyze them separately. You interpret them separately. Ayaha nimo sila i-compare, contrast, and interpret. And then, dili na mahitabo ang pagbuhat og paper pag-organize sa narrative. What are some strengths? So here are some strengths. No? Can be easy to describe and to report. Can be useful when unexpected results arise from a prior study. Can help to generalize qualitative data. This is also helpful in designing and validating an instrument. Can position research in a transformative way. No? This means that the major strength of mixed method research is that you are able to know the bigger picture of a certain problem or phenomenon. Know all areas, all aspects, all angles of the certain problem can be discovered through using mixed method research. What are some weaknesses? It is time required, no, very time consuming ang mixed method research. Why? Because you need to conduct two datas. No, dapat mag-gather ka og duha ka data. That is quantity and quality. Because when you combine the two, you can really have an amazing findings. Okay, so activity. So I prepared two activities. No, one activity for the lesson one, which is the actual research, and another activity for this mixed method research ng lesson 2 na to. So for lesson 2, this is your activity 1. In a long bond paper, no, you create a fishbone analysis on your previous paper in practical research. The deadline of this is April 1, 2024. Your activity in lesson 1 for the action research is this one. In a long bond paper, you create a research article analysis based on the link in the comment section. So I will be giving you a research article, no, ang link sa research article ako siyang i butang sa comment section ani nga video, and then you follow the proper format I gave you, no, pag i-follow ninyo ang proper format sa research article analysis para maiwasan ang deduction of points. On April 1, you will submit this one and you will present this one individually at the faculty office, and I will ask questions right after you present. Or pwede pod nga basahon na lang nako siya inyong paper, and then I will directly ask questions to you. Okay? Or I will let you discuss or present one question sa inyong research article analysis, and I will ask questions on the other parts. So the deadline of this is April 1. I will not cater late submissions and late presentations. I will not cater that one. Zero kung zero ta. Okay? Um, this is a tip for you in creating your activities. You improve the quality of your work para dili mabagsak. Because I'm telling you, I will really read your work, and I will really, or I will honestly rate your work. Okay? So that is all sa lesson 1, lesson 2 sa midterms na to. Thank you so much for listening.